I just drove off.
Yeah, when I take it and I put it in auto drive, that's when it really freaks me out.
Yeah. Do you use that often? That doesn't scare you.
Often.
Yeah.
Yeah, it scares me.
All Twitter was basically an arm of the government.
Yeah.
So
was that shocking? Like, what was that like? Because that, to me, that was the most bizarre.
Right.
Yeah, I think you do need to be at least aware that some shit could happen at any moment when cars are flying by you going 75 miles
So you don't
an hour.
take your hands fully off. You just let the car
don't.
drive itself.
it was whatever the official government. I mean, it was like Pravda, basically. A state publication is the way to think of old Twitter. It was a state publication.
Joe Rogan was once Elon Musk's biggest cheerleader, but now he's calling him out. What happened that turned admiration into criticism, and why is Rogan convinced Musk might just be all hype? Stay tuned to find out what truth bombs Rogan just dropped. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. There was a time when Joe Rogan couldn't stop singing Elon Musk's praises. He called Musk a genius, hailed him as the mind boldly steering humanity towards the future, and even gave him credit for being one of the few people who could tackle the world's biggest problems. Whether it was making space cool again with SpaceX or shaking up the auto industry with Tesla, Musk could do no wrong in Rogan's eyes.
Right. Like, I'm a typically pretty humble person, but like having like a Tesla, the fact that you could push a button and the car comes to you.
Hell, their infamous podcast episode where Musk happily puffed on a joint felt like a tech bromance for the ages.
How does that work? Do people get upset at you if you do certain things?
Do you see this right here?
There's
Elon
tobacco
Musk.
and marijuana in there.
Rogan seemed fully on board the Musk train, convinced his guest was a modern-day Thomas Edison. But that was then, and this is now. Lately, Rogan has been dropping breadcrumbs that his awe for Musk isn't as solid as it once seemed. Die-hard listeners have noticed little signs. The way Rogan might raise an eyebrow or snicker when Musk gets mentioned, or the occasional sarcastic jab when Musk's companies come up. These are the kinds of moments you'd catch if you're paying attention, and they've been adding up. Then came the turning point.
I just drove off.
Yeah, when I take it and I put it in auto drive, that's when it really freaks me out.
Yeah. Do you use that often? That doesn't scare you.
Often.
Yeah.
Yeah, it scares me.
In a recent conversation, Rogan didn't hold back anymore. He outright questioned whether Musk is as brilliant as the world believes, or if he's just brilliant at over-promising. Take Tesla's self-driving cars, for example. Rogan brought up the fact that Tesla has been teasing full autonomous driving for years, but we're still sitting in traffic with one hand on the wheel. He jokingly said Musk might be better at making bold claims than delivering results.
It scares me, but I keep my hands right there, but it is freaky.
Has it tried to kill you yet?
No.
Okay, that's
No,
good.
there's
It's
not-
coming.
Really?
I'm just joking. Just joking.
But it lightens that almost maybe too much, because I think you do need to be, oh, jeez, it's coming into my lane.
And then there's Musk's bewildering decision to rebrand Twitter to X, which Rogan called a complete misstep. He hinted that Musk might be more interested in self-indulgent stunts than in running a successful company.
All Twitter was basically an arm of the government.
Yeah.
So
Was that shocking? Like, what was that like? Because that, to me, that was the most bizarre.
Yet another change at Twitter. This time, he ditched the platform's iconic blue bird logo. You've heard about it, I'm sure, by now, for a more serious X.
And he didn't mince words about how bizarre it's become. But Rogan's issues go beyond business decisions. He has been vocal about his unease with Musk's cozying up to controversial figures, including Trump. For Rogan, this isn't just about bad PR, it's about ethics. What's worse, Musk's embrace of internet conspiracies seems to clash with Rogan's own belief that influence comes with responsibility. While Rogan doesn't claim to be perfect himself, he believes the kind of power Musk holds requires more accountability, not less. His criticism has become more than just poking fun. It's a wake-up call. When Joe Rogan speaks, people listen, whether they agree with him or not. So when he turned his attention to Elon Musk with a sharp critique, it caused a shockwave.
We know what he's up to. Once again, seeming to dare people to call him out.
So you have to say, like, how could AI go wrong? Well, if AI gets programmed by the extinctionists.
Rogan's audience isn't just vast. It's diverse, from tech enthusiasts to skeptics, and his comments sent many of them rethinking Musk's place on his pedestal. Why does it matter? Because Rogan has the kind of voice that doesn't just land in an echo chamber, it seeps into the broader conversation. When someone with Rogan's reach calls out Musk's intelligence and leadership, people across industries take notice. And for Musk, the timing couldn't be worse. For years, Musk was packaged as the tech world's savior, ambitious, daring, untouchable. But Rogan's criticism has exposed cracks in that image. It doesn't take much for investors and fans to lose faith, and now they're questioning not just Musk's decisions, but his credibility altogether.
Right.
Yeah, I think you do need to be at least aware that some shit could happen at any moment when cars are flying by you going
Right.
75
So
miles
you
an
don't
hour.
take your hands fully off. You just
No,
let
I
the car
don't.
drive itself.
It is the end of civilization.
And it's not just propagating the mind virus, but suppressing any opposing viewpoints.
Rogan's skepticism about Tesla's self-driving cars has given weight to years of criticism that the company promises more than it delivers. Full autonomous driving still isn't here, and lawsuits have piled up over claims that feel more like marketing gimmicks. Rogan even joked that Musk's promises are like a bad Tinder bio, impressive up front, but when it comes to follow-through, you're left waiting in disappointment.
That was one of the things about the old Twitter was the propaganda and
Yeah.
the adherence.
And then there's Rogan's takedown of Musk's leadership style, erratic, reactive, and scorched earth decision-making. From firing Twitter employees en masse during his now infamous Twitter to X rebrand to associating with controversial figures and sometimes embracing conspiracies, Musk's behavior has shifted from visionary to, well, uninspiring. Rogan's issue isn't just about bad PR moves, but about a lack of humility and accountability.
Oh, it's
I
not
always keep my hand there. But I'm always. But the one thing I'm concerned with is that I think I'm lowering my guard.
It was whatever the official government. I mean, it was like Pravda, basically. A state publication is the way to think of old Twitter. It was a state publication.
These critiques echo a broader anxiety about tech billionaires treating companies and by extension society like experimental playthings. Rogan's comments have pushed the conversation into bigger territory, accountability for people like Musk, who wield as much influence as governments, but answer to no one. Could this all be paving the way for a cultural shift where tech giants are no longer untouchable? Stay tuned. Joe Rogan's criticism of Elon Musk isn't just a celebrity spat. It's proof that even the loudest cheerleaders can demand better. Rogan has publicly questioned whether Musk, once held up as the ultimate genius, has spiraled maybe too deep into his own hype. That's a stinging rebuke for someone who's built a brand on being untouchable. The real question now is simple. Should the world stop worshiping Musk and start holding him accountable? Maybe Rogan didn't just end their bromance. He popped Musk's entire hype bubble. If nothing else, he's turned the once unshakable tech mogul into a very human story.